So Jalen Lott, obviously the son of James Lott, cornerback for Texas from 83 to 85. This guy is the 66th player nationally, according to 247 Composite. He is the number 4 athlete. And we're talking about a guy as a junior that ran 10.900 meters, high jump 6 foot 8 inches. So a really damn good athlete. And a guy, again, he's listed as an athlete. Some schools have him at cornerback. Some schools have him at wide receiver. Texas seems to be playing more of the cornerback route. What do you like about Jalen Lott, Gerald?
Well, first of all, I want to pause. His mother was on some pretty good Texas women's basketball teams too. I think they went to the Elite Eight, and I think a Final Four team as well with Faye on the roster as well. So I want to shout out Faye Lott. I don't remember what her maiden name was, but yeah, she was an athlete at the University of Texas as well. So double legacy there. So Texas has to hit on him. Yeah, I mean, you can tell by who's recruiting him that Texas sees him as a corner, right? You got Orphe and Akina as his recruiting duo. So like he's Texas sees him on the defensive side of the ball. And I think from his skill set, his size, his abilities, I think that's probably one, the better upside to him, and two, the quicker path to the field. Because Texas, again, has recruited really, really well in that wide receiver room. And so getting him, he's a 6-foot kid that I think, again, ran a pretty fast 100. I think he's a explosive athlete too. I think he's a long jumper, a triple jumper. So Texas sees him as a playmaking cornerback, a guy who can probably play either side, both field or boundary. He's a guy who has a high upside, a high athletic IQ. Go watch his tape. He's just all over the stinking field on both sides of the ball. Quick first step. Again, and he feels like a must-have for Texas. One, by virtue of the fact that like both of his parents were athletes at the University of Texas, so like it sucks to miss on legacy kids like that. But also, again, he's a guy who I think can come in and be an early contributor, be a guy who, under a couple of years of Orphe and Dwayne Akina, be an elite corner in the SEC.
No, 100%. And I think it's like you said, Akina and Orphe, it did suck because Terry Joseph was his primary recruiter, moved on, but then apparently they jumped on very quickly. So that's good. And Dwayne Akina was also, I guess, recruiting him at Arizona. So there was already a prior relationship. Yeah. But I think it's very important to hit on these legacy guys and also not take them for granted. I think some schools might be like, oh, they're legacy. We don't have to put 100% effort into it. That is not the case. Steve Sarkisian is recruiting Jalen Lott to Texas, like personally. He has talked to him. They've called a bunch. So that is a very important and good thing. You see, hopefully you're seeing that with Caden Finley as well, who again is also a legacy guy. It's very important to hit on them because again, maybe we get another legacy. Those guys have kids in the future, and then their kids come to Texas, so that helps as well. But we have big players in this. I mean, you're going to have USC visiting. He's visiting Oregon the week after Texas, which sucks. Again, in high school recruiting, you want the last visit period. I'm sure that's the summer, so he will have more visits in the future. Hopefully, we can get that final visit, because again, that is the most important thing in high school recruiting. I think Ohio State has been talked about, Georgia has been talked about, and different schools have him as different things. So this is kind of like similar to the Michael Terry thing. Michael Terry was being recruited to Nebraska at wide receiver, whereas Texas is like more of everything. And it's, does he want to go play wide receiver, or does he want to be a little bit of everything? And I think that's very important. He chose to come to Texas, which means he's open to do a little bit of everything. If Jalen Lott wants to be a wide receiver, then he probably won't end up at Texas unless Texas is willing to cave in and say, hey, you can play wide receiver. Right now, I believe Ohio State has him as a wide receiver, and then also Oregon and LSU also see him as a wide receiver. So that's important as well. Like, wherever he wants to play, and I guess it is very open. That's what everyone has been saying. He doesn't really have his mind narrowed down on that, but that could be a very big deciding factor as well, as, hey, I may not really want to go here, but they're offering me wide receiver, and I really, really want to play wide receiver, so he may go there for wide receiver.
Yeah, and I think, the way you see somebody in their position, like, you can't really do much about it. If you think they're a corner and you think their highest upside is at a corner, then that's how you recruit them, and let the chips fall as they may. But I think, you mentioned Texas prioritizing the legacy players, and I want to hit on that for just a second, because it's not just like that they're legacy, but one of the biggest advantages that Texas has is that you can have NFL legends walking around the facility, right? Somebody comes to visit, and Michael Huff just happens to be there. Aaron Ross just happens to be around, right? And his wife, Sonia Richards Ross, who's an Olympic gold medalist, also happens to be walking around. Jaden Finley brings Jermichael with him, right? I think about volleyball recruiting where they had Jermaine O'Neal on campus for years with Asia, and then he was able to talk to Big Swagoo over from ESPN, and now his daughter is on the volleyball team, right? So Texas being able to have that group of parents on campus that are also high-level elite athletes that talk about it, right? I guarantee you that James Lott and Cooper Manning are having conversations, right? I guarantee you that's the kind of guys that they're pairing them with when they come up. So there's so many advantages to really prioritizing that and creating this look of a unified Texas.
No, 100%. And right now, guys, it is Oregon and Texas. That seems like a theme that's been going on the last couple of years. Yeah. We've won some battles. They've won some battles. And, they took the Corian Moore last year, which is going to take a while for some Texas fans to get over. Hopefully we can win this battle with Jalen Lott. And I expect this. Honestly, this will probably be wrapped up probably at the beginning of the season. My expectation is sometime in late August or September for him to commit. So hopefully he is a Texas Longhorn by then. Again, it would really hurt if we lose a legacy. That's always going to hurt a little bit more there. So hopefully we can get him. And I think he's going to be a very, very good player. He's a freak athlete. Like, they don't really make guys like that at the cornerback position very often. And especially a guy that is open to playing corner. Like, that's what surprises me too, is like, he's 50-50 on this right now. Whereas most guys want to hear they're an athlete, they want to play on the offensive side of the ball. They don't really want to deal with the defensive side of the ball. So it would be awesome to get him there at cornerback.
Yeah, and again, glad that he's open to it. Glad that he's hearing and understanding of it. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for Texas. And again, this is one that we it feels like every recruit is a must get, but I think especially when you're looking at legacy guy, the stuff that Jalen brings to the table, like, this is one that if they can't land this one, I'll be very frustrated.
Yeah, him and Caden Finley would definitely be frustrating to lose. I definitely think they're in the top 7 or 8 for me of guys you kind of have to land in this class. Yeah. And especially since it's already seems like we have a little bit of a lead, so it'd have to kind of have something to do with us messing it up at the end of the day, which is kind of unacceptable, but it is what it is. Yeah. Stuff does happen.